which is why Trundle is so good, especially in 1v1 scenarios. Uh, you use your frozen domain for the attack speed buff. You use your Q to fucking hit them with the club over and over and over again. You use your ultimate to sap away their life and their fucking MR and armor, so you can hit them for harder. And then when they try to run away, you can use your Pillar of Ice to cut them off on their tracks. A little side note, your Pillar of Ice, when you do it near a wall, there is a chance if you line it up properly, you can actually get the champion stuck into the wall, which is pretty fucking funny if you ask me. I've only seen it happen like 1 or 2 times because most of the time they're running in the middle of the lane, not really near the wall, because running near the wall is a pretty bad idea because you get cut off and auto pathing is sometimes a bitch, but it's pretty good. And for your runes, oftentimes you would go press the attack since it's a 3-hit passive and it gives you armor reduction on your next hits. Like it reduces their armor and gives you more damage after you hit them 3 times successfully with an auto attack. And since Trundle is built around auto attacks, you can see how this pairs really well with him. And in the early games, you can actually just try to, like, if you have like safe lanes, the other lanes, let's say you're in blue side and your mid lane and top lane are doing well, they're pushing out their opponents, and their opponents can't leave lane, you can counter jungle by going into the enemy jungle and looking for a early game duel against their their jungle, and oftentimes you would win, except for times where you don't because of either champion advantage, or they're ahead with might also plays a big role, and or items, like if they backed first they get the iron spike whip or like a plated steel cap. That's going to make a huge difference whenever you duel someone in the jungle. But oftentimes you can bully someone into moving away from their own jungle so you can take their camps, or like straight up killing them if their teammates don't have the capability to follow up, which is why Trundle is a good early game champion. He bullies early game so he can snowball mid to late. The only problem with him is that he falls off a bit because other champs scale much better. Let's say something like Kale. If he is up against Kale, he would definitely bully him in the early game, level 1 to 6. But when level 11 hits in, Kale would do a percentage of his HP, which makes it a lot harder. So the strategy with Trundle is to like get him fed in the early game to the point that the enemy is behind and you can just steamroll over and over and over again, just hitting them with your club and eventually winning the game if everything goes well, you know. For his jungle pathing, I recommend starting at blue buff, because when you start at blue buff you get the extra regen that really helps with your chomp, and you can spam it how many times you like. And when you keep using it, it's faster clears and all of that good stuff. And on the blue side, most of the time it's only like 1 to 2 targets whenever you're fighting them. It's like the blue buff, the Gromp, and the 3 Merc Wolf. And that's easy to deal with in the early game, and you won't have much trouble like clearing them off. Except if you start at red side, you would immediately realize that raptors are clapping your ass because you started red and you wanted to fight raptors. You might die if you smited red, but if you keep your smite after you do red and you go to raptors, you can clear raptors in time. Yeah. And that will be it for today's video. Thank you again for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.